Welcome back to Locked On Sports Atlanta. This is A to Z. I am Mark Zinno. Appreciate you guys starting your week with Locked On Sports Atlanta. Again, free wherever you get your podcasts, free on YouTube. Just search for Locked On Sports Atlanta. And of course, A to Z is back. And I'm so excited to be with you guys. And I'm glad you guys are joining me here once again. Going to be a lot of fun to be back on the airwaves with you guys. And I'm glad that you're making Locked On Sports part of your daily regimen here for Atlanta sports, covering everything. We have so many great shows on the network here, and so many of my friends are part of this endeavor, which I'm really, really excited about. So, going to be tons of fun here going forward. There is a bunch of stuff to get to. And again, don't forget to search Locked On Sports wherever you get your podcast. Bunch of kind of odds and ends here as we wrap things up here on this Monday. But I did want to start with the national championship tonight between Duke and I'm sorry, Freudian slip between UNC and Kansas. And oh, by the way, how fitting is it that if Coach K's career wasn't going to end at the national title, that it ends on him losing to his rival? It was a fantastic game on Saturday night in the national semifinals, or one of the semifinals between Duke and UNC. A lot of fun to watch that game. So it is two powerhouse programs, UNC and Kansas. And let's get this out of the way, by the way. I know that there's a little number 8 next to North Carolina, meaning that they were an 8 seed, but North Carolina is never a Cinderella. Don't ever use the term Cinderella next to North Carolina. They have multiple banners hanging in their gym, in their arena where they play from national championships. They are never, ever, ever Cinderella. So please don't say Cinderella next to North Carolina. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, glad that that's all done. Kind of preview of the national championship game here and a quick little handicap. One of the plays that I have tonight on the national championship is Kansas minus 2.5 in the first half. And this is based off of a lot of people, a lot of North Carolina fans in particular. Their Super Bowl was Saturday night. Their national championship was Saturday night. I've talked to a couple of Carolina fans who have basically said, I don't care what happens Monday. Saturday was everything. They spent so much emotional energy in that game against Duke. They spent so much, capital in just exhaustion and everything else, and a short turnaround. Like that. Everybody in UNC knew what that game meant to both of those schools. So this is a team that's going to come out with a little bit of sluggish legs, probably a little bit emotionally tired. Again, it's a quick turnaround. Now, 4 to 5 days they had to rest for the national championship, or the Final Four to begin. Rather, they played Saturday night rather, in a huge, huge event that, as I said, it sucked all emotional energy out of the way. And so tonight, I expect them to come out a little bit slow. I expect them to come out a little bit tired. I expect shots not to be falling early on. It's going to take them a little while to get their legs underneath them. Kansas minus 2.5, just based off of that. Kansas did not have to expend the emotional energy that UNC did against Villanova. They sort of led wire to wire. They never were really threatened in the game at any point in time. So they can come into this thing a little bit more relaxed. And if Agbaji again is the key to their offense, if he is hitting shots the way he was against Villanova, Kansas minus 2.5 in the first half. That said, I also am going to play North Carolina plus the 4.5 in the game, because I don't believe that you're going to be able to keep North Carolina at bay for a full 40 minutes. They'll get back into this thing. And with it only being 2.5, again, they could be down 4 or 5 at half and still be completely in the game and not feel out of it. So I look to those two spots right there as far as the way I'm going to handicap and play the national championship tonight. Should be a fun game. If you're worried about the total, I think it's set at 153 last I checked. It's over or pass. There's no way I'm going to even try to sweat out an under in this game. It's not even worth it. There is absolutely no reason to sweat out an under in this game. Either take the over and just pray they play fast and score a ton of points, which they probably should, or you just kind of pass on the total and watch the game and enjoy it. So quick handicap there of the national championship. We're going to dive into the Masters later on in the week, but I will give you one name that I have put my wager on that is better than an 18-1 long shot, and that's Xander Schauffele at 20-1. I think that Xander is a guy that, is consistently in the top 10 moving into Saturday and Sunday, right? He certainly has the length to hit at this course. He knows it well. He's got the short game. I like where he is, and he's a guy that's always floating around the top of these things on Saturday and Sunday. Let's see if he can put it together for 4 days straight but at 20 to 1, I think you get great value on Xander Schauffele as a guy. I am always rooting for Brooks Koepka, and I'm always rooting for Jordan Spieth. Those are my two favorite golfers. So those are the guys that I'm always rooting for. I haven't put wagers on them, although Brooks at 12 to 1 and sorry, Spieth at 12 to 1 and Brooks at 18 to 1 aren't bad value bets either. But again, those to me are always too emotional. So I'm going to look at Schauffele, Xander Schauffele as a guy that I'm going to put my money on. One more note here that we'll finish up with. The Falcons added Demir Bird to their wide receiver room, and it's a 1 year deal. I played with the Bears last season. He's been with the Patriots before. The Falcons wide receiver room continues to be sort of like a laughing stock and the butt of a joke here for pundits across national TV, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not. Marcus Mariota should be one of the quarterbacks this year who leads the league in rushing as far as quarterback rushing is concerned. Like if I'm Marcus Mariota, I'm just sitting there going, I'm going to be Lamar Jackson. I'm just going to take off whenever I can. I'm just going to make teams worry about that because that's the only way that guys are going to be able to get open. These aren't going to be guys that are going to separate. If you're going to have to ask these DBs that you're playing against to cover 4 and 5 seconds because you're running around like crazy and they have no idea where the ball's going to go. And the Falcons have to acknowledge that they're in a rebuild. And I said that on Friday. And they have to acknowledge that they don't have the room on the salary cap right now to go ahead and add anybody. And, they have to go out and draft guys that can make an impact now in any size, way, shape, or form. And I was talking about this with a friend in reference to, I think this draft really hinges on the Panthers at 6 and the Falcons at 8. Also the Texans at 3, because those are the quarterback teams right there. And if those three pass on quarterbacks, and the Falcons could be very advantageous at 8 because if the Texans pass on a quarterback and the Panthers pass on a quarterback, somebody may pick up the phone and call Atlanta and go, "That's where I want to go." And I know Seattle is now at 9. They also could use a quarterback, but it's one of those things where there may be a team that wants to go look at drafting their quarterback in the future. And if Malik Willis is sitting there at 8, and the Falcons don't feel like going down that path, somebody else may call them and pick up the phone. And at this point, if I'm the Falcons, draft capital is more important to me. I have been, all in favor of them getting their quarterback of the future for a year or two now. And I'm not even going to go against this class because I know one of these quarterbacks in this class is going to be a stud. It just kind of happens every year that there's a quarterback that's a legitimate guy who's going to, be a franchise quarterback and start him in the center for one team for a decade, or at least have the ability to do that. So one of these guys is going to be it. It's just a question of finding the right one. And it's not as easy this year because none of these guys are all really that highly touted. But as the Falcons go through this process and we start to focus on the draft, how they play this draft is going to be super critical for Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith. It's really one of those things where it could hinge on the direction and how quickly they can get out of the rebuild and back into a team that is in contention. So, all right, that'll wrap things up here for A to Z on this Monday. Again, follow me on social at Mark Zinno on Twitter and on Instagram. Interact with me about the show. Tell me what you love about A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. We're free wherever you can get your podcast. Just search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Of course, watch us here on YouTube and interact. Give comments, leave comments down below if you're acting on YouTube. Tell me what you like and what you don't like. And if you don't like me, you can keep that to yourself. But if you do like me, leave those comments too. We're going to be back tomorrow with another big show. We're going to start integrating some guests. You'll look at my strange background at my parents' house in Florida all week long instead of this crazy hotel that we're in. So stay with us here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta. You guys have a great day. Don't take any crap from anybody. See ya.